Hello everybody, it's Sephiroth4 for another episode of Paranormasight. Last time we continued the route of Yakko Sakazaki as we tried to figure out what was going on with the curse and everything else. And we were attacked right before we decided to leave. So let's see. After Yakko acquires the curse of the Fool's Procession, Mio tries to persuade her to give up on going after the Rite of Resurrection. The effects of other curse echoes are already appearing at the school, so the two hurry to get out of the classroom. I'm not really sure what curse was waiting for us because 1 a.m. Because it turned dark, but it wasn't the same effect as the last one. Inside the... Hey, Mio, what was that just now? Could it be another curse echo different from mine? I think so, yes. We may have been discovered by another curse bearer. Oh. Huh? What's wrong? Shh. Someone's there in that classroom. What? Something moved inside. Well... I guess we may check it out stealthily. It might be the curse bearer who used that curse echo just now. If we can see who it is, it might help us decide what to do later. That's true. Okay, be careful. Well, can you see anything? Trying to get a look around. Don't see anything over there. Wait. Huh? Huh? Is that our homeroom teacher, Mr. Junichi? And the person with him is Hitomi from Class A? Huh? What? Oh my, what's going on here? Ah! That bastard! He's at it again! I have to kill him. You know what? Last time I also completely didn't even bother trying to do this. So let's see what happens if I try to use my curse. Hey! Die, Mr. Junichi. What is this sound? No, Yakko, stop. You'll kill Hitomi too. I have to do something. Ha! Huh? Hey, over there. Who's there? I was seen. It didn't work. Run, hurry. Well, Kohei Junichi, English teacher and the homeroom teacher for Class 2C, was seen alone with Hitomi Okuda in the classroom late at night by Yakko and Mio. Kohei was an honor student at the top of his class back in his high school days. The apple of his parents' eye, he was placed under immense pressure to attend a first-rate university. The family's plans came to naught, however, when the pressure caused Kohei to sink into a deep depression and fail his entrance exam. Even at the university he was able to enter, Kohei struggled to keep up with his classes, leaving him a vain but wounded young man. Kohei never aspired to be a teacher, but figured it was at least the least he could do with his talents. He considers his students to be beneath him and largely looks down on them all. Yikes, you're a jerk. Hitomi Okuda. Hitomi is a rebellious student in Class 2A at Komagata High School. On the rare occasion when she does show up to school, she skips all her classes and spends her time hanging out on the rooftop with her fellow troublemakers. Hitomi is regarded by teachers as one of the worst offenders among the delinquent students attending Komagata High School. Hitomi was a fairly ordinary student when she started high school, however, trouble at home in her first year had her take a turn for the worse. She began associating with a group of delinquents from other schools, with whom she'd wander around town at night to avoid returning home. Warnings from teachers about dress code and conduct violations have fallen on deaf ears, with Hitomi going on reactionary rampages around school with her friends, breaking windows and disrupting classes. Recently, some teachers have taken to using harsher methods and even corporal punishment to correct Hitomi's behavior, but this has only served to exacerbate the animosity between Hitomi and the school. Hitomi is widely regarded as the leader of the troublemakers at Komagata High School, but the title does not mean much to her. Huh. The heck are the two of them doing together? Seems like they're not coming after us. Let's hope they didn't see our faces. But Yakko, what came over you all of a sudden? Sorry, things are stopping me. It's like this uncontrollable rage suddenly welled up inside me. I wonder what's gotten into me. I can barely even remember what happened. I'm really sorry. I do think it's partly the curse's influence in you, but we certainly saw something shocking. My heart's still pounding. I'm a little surprised you know Hitomi from Class A. She tends to stand out a lot. Gotcha. Well, she certainly does dress like a delinquent, though she barely shows up to school. But could Mr. Junichi or Hitomi really be a curse bearer? Oh, there it is again! I don't know, but we should be careful just in case. No, that's definitely not one that we know. Yakko? Huh? When I give the signal, run. Go straight for the entrance. Don't look back, no matter what. Huh? Why? Did something happen? Something happened, didn't it? What about you, Mio? I'll be fine. We'll meet up outside the school gates. If I'm not there in 10 minutes, go straight home, okay? Okay, go! Alright! Don't look back. Don't look back! I have to get outside. Let's see. To get to the gates, I go by the gym and... Anything over here for us? Whoa! What are you doing, miss? Ah! Oh. You shouldn't be here this late. You know what time it is? Oh. Mr. Ashimiya. Well, if it isn't Lil Yakko. Anyway, students ain't supposed to be outside playing around at night. Yeah, alright, they said before he was doing his rounds, huh? Makoto Ashimiya is the janitor at Komagata High School. His predecessor was nearing retirement, so he began working as his replacement about 6 months ago. Makoto is popular among the students for his friendly and caring nature, going so far as to remember the names and faces of all those attending the school. He is affectionately known as Old Man Ashimiya. Although he appears to be a simple, amiable man, Makoto's occasional shrewd remarks have led to speculation among students they may have led a far more interesting life than it seems. Whatever the truth may be, he'll be remembered as one of the 7 mysteries of Komagata High School for some time to come. It's kind of cute that they made like 7 mysteries of their own. I know you're rough around the edges, but I didn't take you for one to act out like this. I'm not acting out. What about you? Should you be smoking on school grounds? Well, it ain't lit, so it's alright. It's, an accessory. Hey, don't go changing the subject. There's just no letting my guard down with you. So, why are you here so late? Well, the truth is I forgot something in my classroom. Again, you sure are a piece of work. Huh? But you don't have nothing with you. Oh, wait, you do. What's that in your hand? Huh? Well, this is what I forgot. I got it from my grandpa. It's really important to me. Huh, girls these days sure have weird tastes. Well, okay, better head straight home if you're done. I won't tell on you. No, wait, I can't let you walk home this late. Home alone this late. Alright, wait just a little. I'll hurry and lock things up. But... Oh, we can't... Why can't we select the top option there? I'm worried about Mio. Actually, a friend of mine is still inside. I think they'll be here soon. That's so. Who's your friend? My classmate Mio Kurosuzu. Ah, that transfer student? Breaking school rules already, huh? Didn't take her for the type. No, I was the one who dragged her here. Well, whatever. I'll go take a look. It'll be safer if you go home together. Oh, right. She's in the first floor hallways. Be careful, though. You don't know what might be there. What's that supposed to mean? First floor, yeah? I'll be right back. I feel like it's at this point where we encountered Yakko as Shogo Okie. It's 2 a.m. now. We've been waiting a long time here. Like she was running away from whatever was going on in the school. She's late. Been waiting for 20 or 30 minutes, but there's no sign of her. I'm starting to get worried. I'm gonna take a look. Yeah, there were a lot of people inside there. Mio? Are you there? Huh? Oh my god. Ah! What? Mio, what happened? Where did I go wrong this time? Yeah, it's my fault. It's all my fault. Which curse is this? Why is it getting left her alone with a curse bearer? Why is it getting easier to see? Mio, I'm sorry. I drew this. Ah! Well. Somebody in that school is a murderer. My, Dovey, you seem to have arrived at a less than favorable result. But this was bound to happen. There's someone who must not be trusted. Once you have an idea of who it is, be sure to come back. I'm sure you'll see what you need to do differently. It is a difficult judgment for Yakko Zakazaki to make, you see. This chapter will remain incomplete for now. I recommend you try another route. And now then, until next time. Wait, why is it shaped like that? Failure to escape. Well, let's resume here. Start from after leaving the classroom, because there's a few options we can make here that maybe we don't get noticed. Oh no, this is just out here. I didn't mean to do it from this part. I'm gonna do it from the point where we notice these guys. Let's check it out stealthily again, but this time not alert them. Ah! I have to kill him. I won't let him get away with this. What? The curse. I could kill him with it. No, Yakko, you can't use the curse stone. It's got into you. Resist it. Who's there? Is someone there? This is bad. Oh, so he notices us regardless. And now we have to run. I'm sorry. I forgot something back in the classroom. No sass today, huh? Realized you're in the wrong, did you? Got something? You don't have anything. We still can't select that, though. Yeah, there's nothing we can do here. No. Try one more thing, and that's just ignoring what's going on in that room. I don't think it'll make a difference, but it's important to try all the possibilities. We don't need to check it out, right? Let's hurry and get out of here. Maybe. The person who used that curse echo may be in there. If I could just see who it is, it could help us later. Okay, so we can't avoid it. So that means there's only one option for us at this point, I think, and that's to head to Harue's story, not dreams. When the son of Harue Shigima was kidnapped, a botched investigation by the police resulted in the child's murder. 1 year later, Harue has hired a private investigator to help resolve the unsettled case. Late at night, while speaking to the detective at home, something strange suddenly appears. Whoa! We're just already starting this, huh? May those who mock fire's fury perish in flame. Kill them! Kill them! The flame bearers! Kill them all! You've acquired the power of the Curse Stone, the Haunting Clappers. You can use it to kill those with fire, or a fire-starting device on their person. Use the curse button to set your target alight. Yeah, this one over here. Red, red, red. Everything is dyed crimson. My home is burning to the ground. It's hot. So hot. I must call for help, but I cannot speak. My throat must be burned up from the smoke. No, I think I'm already on fire. That's right. I'll just use the clappers. Clack, clack. Is anybody there? Clack, clack. Why is no one coming? I'm going to burn to death. How did it come to this? Oh, right. Her. It must be the work of that vixen who appeared suddenly and enchanted my lord. That witch! Those hauntingly cold eyes had my lord dancing in the palm of her hand. Perhaps I was also taken in by her. How many innocent people did I lure in under orders? This must be karma. The sound of a heavy bell feels like my head will split open. Ah, right. The evening bell. That must be why nobody can hear the sound of my clappers. I've got to do it louder. Clack. Clack. A murderous impulse seeps into my soul like thin black tar. Now, kill. Can you hear it, Curse Bearer? You who so strongly desires the rights. Kill them. Harue Shigima, 12 a.m. Shigima Mansion reception room. We're gonna be spending a lot of time in this room. Back with me, ma'am? Can't say I understand what just happened. Certainly seems to have put you in a good mood. This might be the first time I've ever seen you really smile. Sweet dreams. Housewife. Just an ordinary housewife. Persons of interest. Harue is a housewife who resided in a manor near Shumoku Bridge. Her 11-year-old son Shuichi was kidnapped and murdered about a year ago. The death was the result of a mistake on the part of the detective assigned to the case, a mistake which enraged the kidnapper and had him cut off all contact with the police, leaving no room for negotiation. The incident was covered up and Shuichi's killer remains at large, leading the aggrieved Harue to call in the services of private investigator Richter Kai to uncover the truth. The Shigima family came from a line of samurai who built their residence in Honjo during the Edo period. They assumed important positions in the police force following the Meiji Revolution, thereby protecting their family's elevated status. Even today, many in the Shigima line work as police bureaucrats and senior police officers. Harue's father sits in the upper echelons of the National Police Agency, and her husband, adopted into Shigima clan through an arranged marriage, is also a highly respected agency official. However, as her family prioritizes work above all else, it wasn't long before Harue's marriage grew cold. Though she wants for nothing, she is isolated from her neighbors and withdrawn from society. Seeing her son grow into a young man gave Harue a purpose in life, but it was cut short by the kidnapping incident. Following the incident, Harue spent many days in a deep depression, breaking into sudden fits of shouting and wandering around in the middle of the night. Her cheerful, loving disposition faded away, and she took to making snide remarks at her husband, which only further soured their relationship. A few months ago, Harue's husband was transferred to another area for work and now rarely returns home, with Harue left to live in a large, empty mansion alone. As a housekeeper who has been with the family for a long time comes in to take care of all the housework, Harue has nothing but time on her hands. No. Not dreams. Sounds like something I might want to hear about. There's so much to look at in this room, but most importantly this. Well, I'll be damned, is that what I think it is? Goodness, you made me jump. It's just a silly little sticker my son got from somewhere or another. Put it up just before... Well, you know what happened. I still can't bring myself to take it down. Let me take a close look. I knew it. It's Head Hencho from way back in set number 1. This is a real collector's item. Excuse me? Don't tell me you never heard of the Mockingbirds. The what? They're the hottest new craze. Cute little birds dressed up like rough and tumble delinquents. I've never heard of them, but this certainly seems to matter to you. The best part is, nobody knows who made them. They just started showing up around town. Soon enough, they'd won everybody's hearts. The story goes that they made by some anonymous artist who covertly leaves them behind in specific locations. No one knows when or where they'll show up next. They're basically an urban legend of sorts. To think one would turn up here of all places. This is a good sign, I'm sure of it. Oh, well, that's nice. Mockingbird number 1. So this is like a cute little collection thing. And as you can see here, there's clues as to the areas they are. I'm going to try to find all of them. I remember getting most of them without looking it up in my initial playthrough of this game. So hopefully I'll remember some of the more weird locations. Let's look through everything else over here. A color television. Father bought one as soon as it hit the market. He likes to have the latest gadgets. Unlike the latest models, there's no remote control. We've had it for a long time. Back when it was new, we all gathered around it and marveled at it as a family. But with the father and my husband being away so often, it quickly fell into disuse. The swinging of the pendulum echoes through the room. It feels livelier than usual with Richter here. Usually it's just me. Let's see, there's the chandelier. The lights. The chandelier is the only thing in here that's my choice. It's my favorite part of the room. Yeah, okay. Got the fax machine. Fax machine. I can send images to other places along the telephone network. I don't really know how it works. Most houses don't have one. I rarely find a use for it. The telephone. The mansion has a private line. The guest table. I don't know where Father got this old thing from, but I've never liked it. An arrangement of flowers. We bring it in someone to do it. I don't even know what the flowers are called. An old hanging scroll. I don't know who painted it. It's been hanging here since before I was born. A stereo unit with separated speakers designed for home use. My husband insisted on buying one even though he isn't one to listen to music often. Kind of seems like it was just a status symbol for him. I believe that's about it for things to look around the room from my past experiences here. Yeah. But there's Richter. A private investigator I hired. A friend told me about him. They say he's not very well known, but he's good at what he does. When I first visited his office in Oda City and saw how he dressed, I could hardly believe he was a detective. After talking to him for a while, I changed my mind. He says some strange things at times, but he seems like he's the reliable sort. Eccentric man that Shogoki ran into a Hanji bridge, Richter is actually a private investigator. After taking a request from Harue Shigima to investigate an unsolved kidnapping and murder of her son, he gets caught up in the events surrounding the rite of resurrection. Once a police officer, Richter was racked with guilt over the police's inability to help all those in need and quit the force to start his own private investigation firm. However, his soft-hearted nature leads him to take on too many cases and has put his office in dire financial straits. How he is still in business is a mystery, with some whispering that a wealthy patron is keeping him afloat. Richter studied alongside Detective Jun Ario at the police academy. Somewhat surprisingly, given his outlandish clothing and mannerisms, Richter excels at covert investigations and tailing his targets. He proudly refers to himself as an investigator extraordinaire, though that only ever succeeds at impressing himself. Richter's biggest source of happiness is nuzzling his pet female albino parakeet, Ernestine, which he keeps in his office. He also enjoys collecting mockingbird stickers, a popular line of merchandise featuring birds inexplicably dressed like delinquents, and can be frequently sighted searching around town for them. While out and about, Richter typically leaves the office, and more important, Ernestine, in the care of Amamori, a junior high schooler who volunteered to assist Richter after being involved in a previous case. Oh, more files. Azure Heron Agency, Richter Kai's private investigation firm in Kamado, Ota City. Originally thought to give it a simple name like Kai's Detective Agency, but upon hearing the people more likely to pick names listed at the front of the phone book alphabetically, he decided to pick a name starting with A. You gotta hand it that makes sense. Thus, the Azure Heron Agency was established. However, it's questionable whether the heron, a bird of somewhat ominous significance, is an effective symbol for attracting customers. Even his own assistant has referred to the name as confusing at best. After all, rather than an Azure Heron, Richter keeps a white parrot as a pet and dressed not in blue, but mostly in white. If there was a symbolic connection to be made there, it has surely been lost on all but Richter himself. Private investigator, also known as a private eye, is a detective who operates their own agency. Although there are no formal qualifications necessary to become a private investigator, many are retired police agents or detectives due to the similarities between the work involved. At a glance, private investigation firms and inquiry offices might look similar, but they carry out different types of investigations. Inquiry offices specialize in conducting credit checks on businesses, while private investigators are generally involved with tailing persons of interest and gaining information surreptitiously. Okay, let's think. My heart's still racing. That's it, my chance, at long last. Let me bring you up to speed. We were in the middle of the chat when you suddenly started spacing out. The whole time you're just grinning to yourself like you just won the lottery. Care to tell me what that was all about? Well, where to start? Huh. Interesting. Very interesting. So, the Haunting Clapper's curse echo appeared out of nowhere. Told you how to perform the rite of resurrection and gave you the curse you'll need to do it. Have I got that right? That's right. So it's all real. Honestly, I still find it hard to believe. But I guess I have to now. I saw that curse stone appear in your hand myself. Looks like it popped clean out of thin air. The evidence that clear is no denying there's some supernatural force at work. I don't think you quite understand. Oh? This isn't about evidence, and it isn't about belief. It's more than that. I know it's real. The moment the curse appeared, I knew everything before it even said a word. It was already there in my head, clear as day. You just knew, huh? It was etched into my soul, along with the curse echo's resentful memories. So I can feel it. What it was like. Dying like they did hundreds of years ago. Wreathed in flame, writhing in pain as my flesh blackens and my blood boils. I can feel it. All the agony, all the rage. It fills me with bloodlust. I think I need to kill someone. Anyone will do, just as long as they're carrying fire. I see. That could be a problem. You think so? From what I know of you, I was sure you'd see it as an opportunity. The stronger the desire to resurrect someone, the stronger the urge to kill. That's how it seems to me, anyway. Good grief, talk about a spanner in the works. Say we take stock for a moment. Remind ourselves where we come from and where we're going. Cotton Eye Joe? That might be a good idea. Okay. This is my chance. That's what you hired me for, ma'am. Look into your son's kidnapping last year. To uncover the truth behind the abduction and murder of Shuichi Shigema. Yes, I remember. They never did find the one who did it. That's what I'm here about today, in fact. Kind of you to let me drop by so late, by the way. Been turning over every last stone and I've come with a grand total of 1 lead. So you said. As far as the police are concerned, it's a cold case, but I managed to make some headway. I remember. You were just about to tell me. Kidnapping and murder case that took place in Honjo, Sumida about 1 year ago. Harue Shigima's son, Shuichi, age 11, was kidnapped on his way home from school with a ransom being demanded the same evening. Initially, the kidnapping was saw as a simple extortion scheme, but when it came to light that the Shigima family is closely tied to the police, and Shuichi was in fact the grandson of a senior official, it was quickly assumed that perpetrators acted upon a grudge against the police force. Kidnapping was treated as a direct attack against the good name of the police, and a large-scale investigation was launched that used the best equipment available to trace phone calls. This made it all the more embarrassing when they were unable to catch the culprit, losing the public's confidence. The culprit grew cocky, relentlessly mocking the police force. After 3 days of failure after failure, Harue reached a breaking point. Spurred by concern for her son, she resolved to hand over the ransom money as fast as possible, but her husband and father, who held the prestige of the police in high regard, refused, saying that they would not let the criminal win by giving in to their demands. The increasingly frantic detective assigned to the case lost his temper when the criminal called to give an ultimatum, causing the culprit to never make contact again. Another week passed, and Shuichi's body was found floating in the Sumida River. Shuichi's death was largely ascribed to police's incompetence, but this was ultimately covered up with stringent media embargoes. The investigation was never closed, but the case has long gone cold. There's Shuichi Shigima. Shuichi was a conscientious, brave young boy who was determined to protect his mother Harue amid his father's frequent absences. He dreamed of becoming a police officer and displayed a diligence and impressive sense of responsibility from a young age, likely due to being raised in an extremely strict environment. Born in the early 70s, he spent his days immersed in various activities and studies, including playing piano, learning the abacus, taking English lessons, and training in kendo. Shuichi's tendency to put other people's needs over his own meant he died without ever telling his classmates how much he longed for them all to go out on a hunt for mockingbird stickers. You know, we still need to figure out exactly what you want me to do. Tell you what, why don't I tell you what I've found and then we can make a decision. Alright. I suppose there's not much point going over the kidnapping itself. No, I'm very familiar. Then I'll leave that for the files to cover, and just confirm a few things about the case. Please trace the culprit's calls back to, let's see here, Northern Oyuko River here in Sumida City. That's quite a wide area. That's right. In the end, they never managed to nail down exactly where the calls are coming from, but it was almost certainly the same location that Shuichi was being held captive, since Shuichi's voice could be heard during the killer's calls. Northern Oyuko River is quite a distance from Shuichi's normal school commute. Factoring that he was seen at the school but went missing before he arrived at his house, it's likely he was abducted by car on his route home. Maybe, but... Exactly, Shuichi was a clever boy. He would never have gotten into the car with a stranger. That's right. I was very firm about that. I know he understood too. I even saw him warning the other children. It's possible they forced him into the car. The only issue there is there weren't any witnesses to the kidnapping. You can't bundle someone into a car with that many students around and not be noticed. But nobody came forward to say they saw anything suspicious. So did they target him at some other time? I didn't mean to do that. Or somewhere away from his usual route. Both of those seem a little far-fetched. Which raises the question, how did the kidnapper pull it off? The police never managed to find an answer. In the end, they decide the kidnapper must have gotten lucky. Well, why not turn the problem on its head? The kidnapper managed to convince Shuichi to get into the car, but how? The only thing that makes sense to me is if there was someone he would have a reason to trust. A teacher, perhaps? Or a relative? Or someone else he knew? But all the adults Shuichi knew had alibis. The police checked them all thoroughly. They did, huh? No one throws numbers at a problem like cops. What if it wasn't someone he knew, or rather... What if the culprit disguised themselves as a police officer? Huh? That would explain why he didn't find them suspicious. Shigima family has close ties with the police. After all, he would have a reason to trust them. You might be right. But surely That couldn't have... Well, there's a problem with the theory. You'd be surprised how much police officers stand out. That's sort of the point after all. They're meant to be a visible deterrent against crime. But here's another interesting little bit of trivia I happen to know. When you ask people to imagine someone suspicious, nobody pictures women or children. Huh. Even kids who've been warned about stranger danger often subconsciously expect the danger to look like an adult man. Besides, Shuichi was the sort of boy who wanted to be a police officer when he grew up. He must have had a very strong sense of right and wrong. That's right. Wait, surely you can't mean... Now you're getting it. If, say, a young woman approached Shuichi asking for help, what would he have done? If someone like that said they were lost and asked him for directions, would he have gotten into a car? He might have. My husband always told him that a man had a duty to watch out for women and children. You could all certainly argue that kind of attitude is outdated nowadays, but if Shuichi believed it, then we might have something here. Then you think the culprit was a young woman? But it was a man's voice on the phone. She might have been an accomplice, or maybe she didn't even realize she was being used. If anything, that would explain why she hasn't come forward. She herself might not realize she had anything to do with the case. So the question is, did anybody see Shuichi speaking with a young woman on the day of his disappearance? See, that's what I said about people's biases. That goes for witnesses too. And I figured that maybe if I started asking new questions, I might get some new answers. So I spent my day asking around Shuichi's school route, seeing if anyone had seen something. And one man thought he had. Do you mean he saw it happen? Well, I can't say that for sure yet. Turned out he wanted something from me, so he asked if we could talk in private. Several hours earlier. Alright, this should do. There's no one around, we can speak in confidence. Excuse me, what was your name again? Oh! Junichi. Okay, this guy's getting more and more suspicious. Got it. Well, Junichi, I'm all ears. Just so we're on the same page. You're a private detective and investigating Shuichi Shigima's kidnapping. Do I have that right? Of course. What else do I look like? How should I know what a private detective looks like? Oh, forget it. Look, I'll tell you straight. My life is in danger. I need your help. Huh? You'll excuse me if that caught me a little off guard. Let me ask you straight. Who's trying to kill you? A student called Michio Shiraishi. The one that jumped off the building? Interesting. A schoolgirl, eh? Sounds like you've been naughty. It's nothing like that. The girl, she's a murderer. I'm the only one who knows, but I saw what she did. Michio Shiraishi, I saw her kidnap Shuichi Shigima. Come again? I saw her talk to him on the street and lead him away. I didn't think much of it at the time, but he went missing. She murdered him, I'm sure of it, or at least she's got something to do with it. That's what you're here for, isn't it? Then you can't let her get to me. If that's true, you've been sitting on some valuable information. Why didn't you tell anybody? Well, you see, if you can't explain that, I don't have any reason to believe you. I couldn't. She told me she'd kill me if I spoke a word. You're telling me a schoolgirl had you scared for your life? So you've been sitting on that all this time, and you think she's come for you now that you spilled the beans? Yes, that's it, exactly. I'm begging you, don't let her get me. Arrest her, I'm telling you, she's a demon. Well, you seem to believe what you're saying, but it just doesn't add up. How could a schoolgirl have a fully grown man so terrified? You don't know what she can do. She'll curse me. Curse you? I'm sorry, but you're losing me here. It's true, her house, forget it, why do we even bother? You seem dubious enough to believe me, but I should have known you'd never understand. Enough, I'll find someone else to help me. Hey. Huh. So... Okay, so he went from there to talking to Hitomi in the school, but that was like yesterday? That wasn't... She was already dead at that point, wasn't she? Right? And that's about the long and short of it. I can hardly believe it. All this time I thought his mention of curses was just crazy talk. But I'm starting to think that there might have been more to it. Then, if we can just find that girl. Curse or no curse, if she was with Shuichi on the day of kidnapping, there's a good chance she knows something. Top of that, I did some digging on the man I spoke to. His full name is Kohei Janucci. He's a teacher at Komagata High School here in Sumida. A teacher? Then this schoolgirl is one of his students? I think that's very likely. He seems like a creep. At last, he got a lead. Hopefully, it'll be a breakthrough we're looking for. The Rite of Resurrection, huh? I read about that in a cult magazine the other day. Apparently, some old books showed up recently with all the gory details. They say that when the rite can be found somewhere in Honjo. I remember the first time you told me about that. It felt like my prayers had been heard. Like I had a hope, real hope for the first time. Ever since that awful day, I've wondered. What if I hadn't sent him to school? What if I just paid the ransom? Not a day goes by when I don't think that if I'd done something differently, Shuichi would still be alive. Can't blame yourself, ma'am. It's the culprit's fault, not yours. Though I know that won't help any. Grief's funny like that. I'm guessing that's why you're after the right? Guess I didn't need to ask. It's written all over your face. Can tell how much he meant to you. But, and this is a big but, if the right is the real deal, using it will mean killing someone and stealing their soul. Is that a problem? If it comes to that, I'm afraid I'll have to stop you. Oh, that's a shame. A shame, huh? That's all. I thought, if I'm going to be competing with other curse bearers, then your detective skills might come in useful. You realize you're talking about ending someone's life, right? Don't you see an issue with that? I think any parent in my position would happily kill for a chance like this. Is that so? Dear, oh dear, what have I gotten myself into? I love how cool, he is in the face of her saying, yeah, I'd kill people. If it makes you uncomfortable, then you won't have to get any blood on your hands yourself. I don't need you to kill the other curse bearers. I only need you to find them. I won't be part of murder, ma'am, not even for a client. How much can I give you to change your mind? Sorry, ma'am, but not everyone has a price. Got my policies and I stick to them. I see. I didn't realize you were so stubborn. Let me say, though, it's not like I don't get what you're going through. As long as you're not killing anyone with your own hands, maybe I can help you out. What do you have in mind? Well, how about stealing someone else's curse stone after they filled it with soul dregs? Huh? If that was all you're after, then I could lend you my services guilt-free. If the other curse bearers want to kill each other, that's their business. I'm not trying to be a hero here. Guess there's no guarantee a stolen curse stone will work, but we can worry about that later. Well then, I suppose we have a deal. Although, what if I stole a curse stone using my curse? Would you disapprove? That would void our contract, ma'am. Just warning you now. My. I like the differences between the three storylines. You know, we have the detectives who's like, yeah, I'm not killing anybody. Also, give me your stones. This is dangerous. Then we have the girls who are like, you really shouldn't kill someone. I'm trying my best. And this one is like, ma'am, if you kill people, I'm not working for you. And then Harue's like, that's a bummer, isn't it? Before we go no further, why don't you tell me about that curse of yours? The haunting clappers, was it? That's one of the 7 mysteries of Hanjo, if I remember correctly. That's right. The original story did happen somewhere near here, I think. I'm sure I remember hearing that. In that case, my money would be all on all the curse bearers being somewhere in Hanjo. Our first move should be to narrow them down. Some of them are bound to try and come for you first. We'll need to be ready. Curse makes their bearers more willing to kill, so an attack could come from anywhere. That sounds sensible. And if I remember correctly, your haunting clappers can set people on fire, but only if they have a naked flame or a lighter on their person, is that right? That's right. In olden times, wooden clappers were used to warn people of fire. I guess it punishes those who don't heed the warning. Seems like a good curse to have. It's simple and straightforward enough to use. Though it's hard to say how it stacks up without knowing what else is on the table. You really think it's that good? Target can't do much to throw it off and has a nice long activation window. It's big that it works on lighters too. Just slip one into your target's pocket. Say the condition were already fulfilled before they even knew you were there, they wouldn't even know what hit them. Maybe I won't have to actually use it. I could just tell someone I could, and they'd have to do what I said. Threats could work, although without any proof it'll come down to how convincing you could be. If only you could use the curse, then back out at the last second. At the last second? What an interesting idea. I have a lighter right here. We could try it now. That's an interesting proposition. But maybe not. I'm not quite crazy enough to make myself a guinea pig. Oh, I see. You're an odd one, ma'am, if you don't mind me saying, and I don't think it's just a curse. You flatterer. I love her so much. She's crazy, but I understand her. As for what we do next, first of all, I think you should stay indoors. Try not to do anything spontaneous or outside your normal routine. Alright then, have you decided what you want me to be working on? I guess investigate? Finally I have a lead. I need to know what happened to my son. Your wish is my command, ma'am. I'll focus all my efforts and look into the kidnapping. Although, something just occurred to me. You can't investigate the matter at night, can you? At least until the sun rises. Could you search for other curse bearers? Alright, I see how it is. Well, I'd be happy to help. Odds are good that the other curse bearer is also working by night. Anyone they kill under the cover of darkness won't be discovered till sunrise. I bet they'll be trying to do as much as they can before morning comes. So it's settled then. I'll look into the other curse bearers by night. Once the city wakes up, I can start asking questions. I'll investigate the kidnapping as well. I'll even try and find Ms. Shiriishi as part of the bargain. Thank you. That's more than enough. Now then, I should get to work. Oops, sorry. I should get to work. There's only so much time before sunrise. I'll call you if I find out anything new. You stay here and keep a lookout. All right. There's no telling what kind of curses you might find out on the streets tonight. Don't go outside if you can help it. Try to be ready for anything. I will. Well, that's all. I should be going. And it shows that she's outside there. Yeah, I have a feeling that she's not going to be a stay-at-home mom in this case. But interesting. Everything is starting to get very tangled up together. But next time, we're going to continue Harue's path and find out a little bit more about her and see how she responds to the curse bearers. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye, everybody. Bye-bye.